The room stank of sweat and fear. The target sat handcuffed, head low, whispering half-truths. I was about to press harder when the phone on the steel table buzzed. Unknown number, civilian line. I never answer those in the field. But something in me, instinct, sharpened by years of war, told me to pick it up. "Mr. Hale?" A voice tense. The school principal. I froze. "Your son is in the nurse's office. He has a broken arm, 2 cracked ribs." Static roared in my ears. Then I heard him, my boy, crying, weak. "A man held me down, Dad, a rich kid's father. He said this is what happens when poor kids don't know their place." My grip tightened on the phone until plastic cracked. I didn't breathe, didn't blink. My handler took the phone from my hand. He listened in silence. Then he spoke, flat, decisive. "The target can wait. The jet is fueled. Go." And just like that, the mission shifted. From state secrets to blood. I should have felt rage. I should have wanted to break bones, burn houses, paint walls red. But rage is loud. Rage is sloppy. I went quiet instead. On the flight home, I replayed the principal's words, my son's voice. The phrase that cut deepest, "Poor kids don't know their place." The attack wasn't random. It wasn't just cruelty. It was a lesson, delivered like doctrine, rehearsed by someone who thought wealth was power and power was untouchable. But there was something else, something off. My wife's silence on the other end when the school tried to reach her. Her eventual text, "I was busy, couldn't answer." Busy, while our son's bones cracked. I stared at that message until the letters blurred. My mind replayed her recent absences, the perfume that didn't belong to her, the dinners she claimed were work. It clicked like a trigger pull. This wasn't just about my son. This was about betrayal in my own house. And suddenly, I wasn't just flying home to confront a bully's father. I was flying into a battlefield I hadn't known I was already losing. I didn't storm the hospital. I walked in calm, sat by my son's bed. He smiled through the pain, tried to be brave. I brushed his hair back and told him to rest. But my eyes weren't on him. They were on her, my wife. Sitting by the window, phone in hand, face pale when she saw me. I kissed my son's forehead, then stepped into the hallway, pulled a contact, asked for phone records, surveillance polls. No accusations, not yet. I learned the man's name within hours, the father of the boy who broke my son, wealthy, connected, a man my wife had met weeks before at a charity gala. Coincidence, she'd said then? I didn't believe in coincidences anymore. That night, I checked her messages while she showered. Hidden folder, photos, meetings. Her smiling beside him, his hand too close on her waist. And worse, messages between them about my son, about me. He doesn't know his place, neither does the boy. The trap was complete. My wife's affair with the very man whose son shattered mine. And she hadn't just let it happen, she had helped. The DNA test was only confirmation. I didn't want it, but I needed it. My son was mine. But the timing of her absences matched perfectly with her meetings with him. I held the results in one hand, her phone in the other, when I walked into the living room. She looked up from the couch, wine glass in hand. I placed both items on the table, said nothing. Her face drained color. She reached for words, excuses, but they choked in her throat. It's not. I only raised a hand, calm, silent. The evidence spoke louder than she ever could. Her tears came fast. Mine never did. I didn't shout. I didn't touch her. I simply slid her phone back toward her and said, "Send him the pictures. Let him know I know. Then tell him what happens when rich men forget their place." She broke, tried to plead. I stared until she obeyed. Her hands shook as she typed. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. A reply from him. One line, full of panic. "Please, let's talk. Not like this." I didn't respond. Instead, I leaned down, close enough for her to feel my breath. "You taught my son a lesson about place. Now you'll live it every day." I left her sitting there, sobbing, with nothing but the weight of what she had destroyed. I stood outside, night air cold against my face. For years, I had faced enemies with guns, bombs, knives, men who wanted me dead, but none of them ever cut as deep as betrayal in my own home. My son would heal. I would rebuild him stronger. He would learn his place was not beneath anyone. Her place, though, hers was already carved. A cage of her own making, with walls of shame and silence. I didn't need to lift a hand against her or him. The truth was the weapon, exposure the execution. I lit a cigarette, exhaled slow, and let the night swallow me. The war overseas was nothing compared to the one I just won at home. And as for her, she was already dead to me.